What's up, sunshine?
Scripts is perfect.
Adam, you all right today? Tell me what you do to Adam.
Nothing to Adam. What you do to Justice? He keep on wearing his do-rag.
He's being a Gen Zer.
Or maybe I'm keeping my hair fresh from my
All right, he went. That's why I didn't say nothing yesterday, because he said those braids was gonna make it to the play.
Oh, to the play.
Even though I hate to see young men in public with do-rags on.
Put you on a do-rag pack, you know what I'm saying?
All right, let's come on in. Justice, can you get together?
I'm just saying, you got all them guests on live. You see you go in the background. Hey.
Okay, take it out the do-rag back.
Come on, man.
That's that St. Louis. What?
You know, yeah. I'm sorry, I said it.
Come on, I know, right? Just right. What you got to say that for?
You sound just like Otis. I thought Otis was going to Jamaica.
Oh, I'm sick of everybody. I hope you watch it. Oh, I hope you hurry up and go. Bring us. Go.
5 seconds, y'all. 5 seconds.
What you got? What you got?
Hey. All right, spring. First day of spring.
First day of spring. We have to celebrate in the sweaters, though, right?
I know, right? Tammy, you don't love McPherson.
How are you? I am wonderful. Actually, I need to talk to you. I don't got something for you to do if you wouldn't do it.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
In days and times in which we live, you have to be sure and very sure that you've got good religion. We are living in crucial times, as the late, great Reverend Clay Evans would say. And you know what? You got to know that you are anchored in God. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. And it is her favorite day of the week because it's Throwback Thursday.
Those are lies. It's your girl, Tamira Fair, on the air, and I'm super excited to be in the studio with the entire Brunch Bunch. Give me a shout out, man.
Now just say my name.
Okay, you too.
You know what?
You too, Action Jackson.
Well, I always say that when I come in the studio, no matter how gloomy it may be outside, sitting next to Tamara Fair will lighten up the day. And you know what? I got some very, very terrible news on my way in. And so I'm glad that to be next to you to keep me lifted up. I want you all to lift up the Smith family, the Lovelace family, and I just want to encourage you. They listen every day. Close members of our church family, friend, I am praying for you all. Earth has no sorrows that heaven cannot heal, and we still believe God. So you know what? On this Throwback Thursday, we're going to dedicate some songs to that family to encourage them. And you know what? The one, the only, Love McPherson is back with us. So listen, she bring her own amen corner too. Reverend Sharpton said when he go out to preach in other cities, he got to make sure he got 1 or 2 of his own, just in case nobody else say nothing.
So hey, to have one. And that's smart thinking.
Well, listen, when we get back, Love is gonna, drop knowledge like she did on the last episode. So we're gonna hurry up and rush through these commercials so we can come back with Love McPherson right here on the Brunch Bunch.
It's so great to see you.
You too, always.
Yeah, you're amazing. Hey, Greg, what's going on? What's up, Tanya?
Tiffany, you ready for tomorrow?
She said.
I'm the one that's up here.
I know, right? Look, I know. I'm about to say it next. We're going to announce it, but Love is being honored as a 2025 Woman of Excellence.
And well deserved.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
This happens to be one of my favorite events to go to and to work, and besides any Love McPherson event, of course. But this, let's say, my favorite gala. This is, yes.
So I didn't once.
It's a well put together production.
It is. It's fast.
It's fast.
You know, you get 50 awards. It goes really fast.
Yes. It's not all.
You know, sitting down 50 awards.
Yeah.
Can be mentally and physically taxing. Not at that game.
They
Well, you've
got
been
it down
there.
to a science.
Oh yeah.
I've gotten an award. It was only 10 of us, and it took longer than it took to give out 50.
Facts. These are facts.
Jarrell, how many more commercials we got? Oh.
How come y'all are not wearing queefs today? I don't smell queefs in the. I don't smell.
Oh,
I don't smell queefs.
That's what I forgot.
I'm probably queefed.
I was on the phone with Margaret. Pray for Margaret and her family.
Deodorant.
Selling deodorant.
Why?
Everybody need deodorant. You always gonna need deodorant. Like,
That's different. Deodorant is different than fragrance. It's a different category.
Adam,
And
move Tammy cameras away. I think I'm hearing the feedback. Maybe they too. Oh, okay. Oh, nice that man.
very nice iPad.
I'm noticing iPad. Valencia just got her the newest iPad, and I'm like, where mine at?
Your iPad.
Yeah.
Are you guys charging this? This really goes in my car.
I ran into Keisha at church. I went to the concert of New Life, and she found me. She saw me. She walked up.
You know what? Stay in your lane.
Oh, yeah.
So my who stinks?
She is an amazing animated woman.
She's sweet as
No, let's go ahead. I'll move like this.
Welcome back to
What's going
Chicago. Awesome sauce.
Yeah, she was like, I know you. And I was like, she made me feel real famous, though, you know, in the restaurant.
You certainly are.
That friend was, whoever she was having lunch with, was like, who is it? Who is it?
What's up, Gabriel? Where's the action? Jackson.
So what's going on? She is world renowned. She is a love expert, but she's not just the love expert. She is back with us to talk about maternal mental health. And you know what? We're calling this the Maternal Mental Health Hour with Love McPherson. Welcome back, Love. Listen, we're so happy to have you. And you know, this is a subject that I love to talk about. And I think it's so important. Why is this so important to you, Love?
It's so important because it affects our community. And first of all, I just want to say it's always a pleasure to be in the room with the greats. I'm in the room with the greats. And you know, important because it affects our entire community. What affects the mom and her ability to give birth affects the entire community. It affects the church. It affects the world. And so we have to address that. But today, I'm kind of flippant because I want to not just talk about maternal infant health. I want to talk about paternal because I want to talk about how it affects the men and the fathers, I should say. And so that's some of the things, because what happens is 50% of the men whose wives or their the mother of their children are suffering through these issues, they are dealing with it also. They're reporting high levels of stress rates, PTSD related to the birth rates, anxiety. They go through physical issues, and through all of that they are suffering through, only like 26% of them go and seek counseling, seek help. So it's a lot of emotional and physical issues that fathers are going through. And so we want to make sure that we don't just dismiss the pain of the fathers in this situation.
Because that's secondary pain. I think that, Marcel, you can attest to that, because
yeah.
when Valencia was pregnant with their first child, Marcel was in a tizzy. He was having morning sickness. Oh, I'm sorry, morning, noon, and night sickness. He was having mental stress, but he's not unique. That situation is not unique. It's just that, like you said, they suffer in silence.
You know, and because men are, and I'm not talking about baby man. Baby man will let you suffer and he don't care. But I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about the real men, right?
Big man.
Okay. Real men will watch their partner suffer and they want to go rescue. It's the nature of a man to come and want to rescue. And when they feel so helpless because it's not their body, they can't step in for you, they don't really know what to do. It's such a helplessness. And so and then you don't want to upstage that person, right?
Right.
Like this is your body. You're actually going through it, and if the husband falls out, like, oh Jesus, you have to stop. The men are suffering in silence because they have to be the strong one.
Yeah.
But because of that, nobody's addressing some of their issues. But this is the thing: if you you keep all of those emotions inside, all of that suffering inside, it's going to show up. It'll just show up later, and a lot of times when the woman needs you the most.
Yeah, it shows up medically too, and a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why these discussions like this are so important, because it's an education piece.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you addressed that though, because I was going to ask, why do black men especially often feel like they have to suppress their emotions? But it's because, like you said, we can't outstage what she's going through. And I was told, when we were having issues in the hospital, I made a call and it was like, look, you get yourself together when you go in that room. If you're going to cry, do whatever, you got to go out. But don't let her see you going through what you're going through, because you need to be strong for her right now. And I'm like, all right, I got it. I'm like, now, when I run out this room and I'm in the corner, I need somebody to come help me though, because I needed help too.
Did you get that?
I did. You know what? My pastor.
Okay.
I was able to really, but most people don't have that outlet. We don't have therapists. We don't have love. Some don't have pastors.
And you don't have a pastor typically with a wife who's medically educated.
Right, that can give it. So, but my pastor just gave me some very good spiritual advice on how to handle it. Why do men often feel left out of the infertility and IVF conversations?
I think it's because there's a lot of, everybody is directed towards the female, because it is her body that it has to go through the implantations. It's her body that has to go through all of the pain, the shots, everything is directed towards that woman's body. And so basically, everybody is focused on the carrier, the one who is going to have to do the work as far as physically. However, it's unfortunate because men, especially black men, we already have issues regarding the health care industry. I mean, it doesn't even have to be IVF or maternal mental health. It can just be medical, and they will not go to the doctor. And so we have to make sure that at the point in which you see your breakdown, that you're seeing counselors, you are seeking help, you are seeking resources. But men feel like, first of all, there are stigmas related to masculinity.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that masculinity of being able to have children, and 30 to 50% of the infertility is has result of the sperm count, the quality of the sperm and things like that. So men suffer in shame, they suffer in, stigmas, they suffer in other things. So, and then financially, we haven't even touched the financial aspect of it.
Because that's an expensive process. And it's funny, and I said, God makes no mistakes, that we connect. This is your platform. We're all working together. I have two men right now that are close to me, and their wives they're both going through the IVF process. And these issues keep coming, but something happened, and this is getting to where we need help at. One of the gentlemen, he was just really stressed, but I could tell everybody was like, "Are they okay?" I said, "Well, you got to think about this. He really wants a baby. His wife is tired of trying right now, and he wants her to stop going out and eating and drinking or whatever so that they can start over. But she's mentally drained. But guess what? He wants a baby. I said, that's a lot to process. And how do you process that?
Yeah.
I think both people have to be sensitive of each other. And so she has to be sensitive to his needs. He has to be sensitive to hers. And depending on how they handle stress, a lot of times there is a trauma response to stress. So there can be avoidance, where her eating and drinking or whatever and going out is not necessarily just wanting a good time, but just to avoid. And so maybe that's what she did all along. Like when she was going through maybe in her childhood or something, she just tried to avoid it and act like it wasn't and just had a happy time. His may be direct. Let's confront the situation. He was that person who stood up and addressed different things, or so. But both people will have to go to counseling. I really do advise you to go to counseling to kind of see what is the underlying issue behind this. Is somebody maybe feeling like they're not even ready for a child? Because because I've had couples come to me and they were going through IVF, but one of the mates was really didn't want them
and didn't want to disappoint the other.
And then I also had one where they were around the same age where their mom died giving childbirth. So unconsciously, we had to deal with those issues.
Traumatic.
Yes. So there were traumas related. There were other that were resistant and would not give up smoking and things like that. And so there's a lot of issues that can be underlying that the couple needs to deal with. But let me tell you something. Children will bring extra stress on your relationship.
Oh,
so
tell me about
it. You need to deal with those things before they come. You understand? So delay may not be the worst thing that's happening to you.
Yeah. Well, this is excellent. So, but how do we create safe spaces for Black fathers to process this grief and these fears?
You know what? I think that we need to talk about it more, like these kind of conversations, and begin to, because a lot of times they suffer in silence. Nobody's talking about it. And so it's not even a conversation that you bring up with your boys. Maybe a pastor, that's a different person, but just bringing it up with your boys, you kind of feel a certain kind of way. So I think that in public, we need to have it. In private, check on your friends. You know how they say, check on your strong friends. Check on your friends who do not have children. Also, be careful of how you address couples who do not have children. And this is what I find, a lot of ignorance in that area. Oh, when y'all gonna have some kids? You don't know why you have kids. That's like saying, how much do you weigh? None of your business.
Right.
Or if you got a big stomach when you're a baby.
Exactly. So
gotta be
none
sensitive.
of your business. Keep your mouth off of people who don't have children.
Exactly.
And just, mind your own business, and then allow them to share what they want to share. But I think that check on on your friends. Check have public spaces, the medical staff, even though they give you directions before you get in that room. You get yourself together, and then after you get out of that room, what are the instructions you're giving me, medical people? You understand?
Yep.
After I go in there and be strong and don't cry, what next? What other? Yeah. So those spaces, you continue that sentence and point me to. But we do have a group of fathers who have this at our hospital, so you can come and join this particular group. So different things like that, resources.
Now, I'm glad you said that. And I want everybody listening. I want to listen to this next question and answer, because I can say just from going through, I understand that a lot of people don't realize when I'm going through or when it's getting a little overwhelming. And I had to, and in all transparency, I had to have a real conversation this past Sunday to say, it's okay for me not to be okay.
Yep.
It's okay for me to be a little overwhelmed.
Yes.
I need to breathe. But what are signs that a father may be struggling emotionally but not expressing it, so that the village can pay attention and help?
Watch patterns that change. Watch different patterns of, like I said, it might be avoidance. It might be he is frustrated, or maybe snappier than usual. Like, well, what's going on? That may be directed towards you. Maybe he closes down. Maybe he isolates. Maybe he doesn't show up for certain events. Just different patterns that you see that are different. He may seem sadder. A lot of times they said that 50% of the men reported that when their wives, even like postpartum, it's not even just IVF, postpartum, they also went into depression as well. And so depression symptoms such as isolation or lack of motivation, withdrawing, disconnecting from things that they used to really enjoy, and that change of pattern. So weight gain, weight loss, different
that's
things.
My problem. I'm through Black fathers.
On which side? The weight gain or the weight loss?
We all are there. And so, but watch for those different patterns and begin to see it. And sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes you just have to pray for people.
Yeah.
You understand? And if you have the desire to say, what's going on with you? Begin to pray and see what you need to say about that. You understand? If that's just a time for you to, it's on your to that thing in prayer, or it's a time for you to address it. But just use some wisdom and use some prayer. But if somebody needs help, for instance, if after a child is born, I remember going through this after my second child because it was a difficult delivery. And I remember if ever I was depressed in some ways, it was during that time because I suffered in silence. I didn't have the support system. My husband was working and he was there, when he could, but he was working double just to, make sure the finances was there. And I remember thinking, I'm not asking people who would gladly come, but I had C-sections and I had really difficult pregnancy. I had blood transfusion during it. It was a very, very difficult pregnancy. And I just remembered, like, how is it that they cut me from one end of my body to the next and tell me go home and take care of somebody else? While I still already have a 4-year-old child. And I just thought, and so I had to come up out of that, but we gotta ask for help too.
Yeah.
When we need help, we have to stop and pause because there are people who are willing to show up for us because we've had such a history of showing up for everybody else. Yeah. If you but ask, a lot of times people will show up, but you got to also look at your childhood and say, why is it that I don't ask? Why is it that I'm constantly
Especially
giving,
people
but
look
I
at
don't?
you as the strength pillar.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're the giver, but you never allow yourself to receive.
And that begs another question about people who have experienced the loss of a baby. And both people in that equation are suffering. And who's going to be the strength element in it?
Absolutely.
But quickly, how do we redefine what strength looks like for Black men navigating these challenges?
Strength for Black men navigating these challenges is that they ask for help, that they seek help. And seeking help is not always just going to a friend, but sometimes it's going to a counselor. If you are paying $15,000 to $25,000 for a round of IVF, which is what it costs, if you are paying that, usually it's your insurance company that's paying for that. Usually chances are that they also have a counseling plan, a therapy plan. And so they will, that kind of insurance that covers that kind of stuff, it will usually have a therapy plan, a counseling plan where they'll give you at least 3 months of counseling. And so take advantage of that during that time.
Now, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with that a little more with love. But this song, as I'm about to talk into the song, Lord, don't move the mountain. Just give me the strength to climb. I'm like, wait a minute. Lord, I want you to move the mountain now. Move the mountain, Yeah, give me some strength to move that mountain. But you know what? It's Throwback Thursday. It's Inez, Andrew. Lord, don't move the mountain right here on the Brunch.
Lord, move the mountain.
You know what? I always say, Lord, just give me the strength to climb. But no, move the mountain. Lord, please move the mountains,
And you know what? The Bible says you can speak to the mountain. So why are we speaking to climate when he said you can move it?
I mean, you know what? I never want to play this song again. If it wasn't today, I would usually like, give me strength. I'm going to climb. No, sometimes I don't want to climb, Lord. Move the mountain.
I mean, that's such a good message that you just said, because a lot of times I want you to see kind of like the mentality or the mindset of us as Black people, as we have gone through so many things. We expect that that's our fate. We expect that that's our fate. So we don't get help because we think this is what we're supposed to do. We normalize climbing mountains.
And we got
on the sightseeing journey either.
That is good.
Normalize that thing.
And I wouldn't, if we weren't having this conversation, I would sing this song, encourage myself. But after this weekend, I had a rough one. I'm like, Lord, you can move the mountain.
You had a rough weekend?
I had a really rough weekend.
I was wondering why you didn't come to the party.
It was a really rough weekend again.
And see, that's the pattern, what you said. I was wondering why you didn't come. So you see a pattern of he's usually there, he's usually present. Instead of just, some people will hit their rejection.
No, that's just a commercial.
Oh.
That will hit their rejection place. Like, you didn't show up for mine. What happened? So they will internalize that instead of saying maybe that person was going through something.
Well, I know him, so that's why I said one more thing. But if you know your people, and he prides himself knowing his people. I don't have that gift of discernment. I just know when it's off. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't know. I can't pinpoint it, and I know when to shut up.
Black history or what you
Sometimes.
Come back in.
You don't need discernment if you got that. Right.
Yeah.
She said, that's wisdom. I'll take that.
The room. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know how to do that with everyone, but the people that you're around mainly, and I'm with him every day, so it's like it would have to be something.
Sure.
And I think that we don't give each other
that's
that.
like, we ain't gonna end it. But we ain't got not one.
Unsure about it. Silence
I
is the
know.
best method. They'll bring it up.
40 seconds.
Yes.
Look, I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, I could have sworn, but
That makes them uncomfortable.
That's
You
right.
bring it up. Yeah.
All right, 30 seconds.
so I'm praying, and so we're gonna talk about Blue Door, some solutions, and how they got stuff. But I'm praying that more men are listening in and feeling more comfortable to want to have these combos.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah, because usually, like you said, men
10
just
seconds.
suffer in silence because they don't want to be looked at as
And we
weak.
let it build up, and
Yeah.
5, 4.
then you're doing stuff out of character. It's your main man, Action Jackson. You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. And we are hosted with.
It's your girl Tamara on the air, but it ain't about me or you today.
I'm so thirsty to get back to love. I forgot you was
here.
here. Love McPherson is dropping knowledge. And my prayer during the break was that I hope that men, especially, but their spouses and partners are listening in and gonna feel a little bit more comfortable to want to connect with love and the Blue Door Neighborhood Center, because I know we got programming that we're working on, and we're gonna get some more initiatives, because in all transparency, I am the strong friend in the crew most of the time, and so I don't lean on people. I go to church, and that's my where I release. But sometimes we let stuff just build up, and then it comes out the wrong way.
Absolutely.
And so we need spaces like this. So what are some of the resources currently that exist for Black fathers experiencing emotional distress related to their partner's pregnancy or postpartum, or postpartum, because we got 2 toddlers at home,
Or prepartum.
or prepartum? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the resources, and what are we doing with the Blue Door to help this?
And that's the thing that I love about Blue Door. They are very intentional about including fathers, and we, this is our second one that I've been working with, and the fathers did show up. So, men, I want you to know that the men do show up in the room for their children. And Blue Door specifically has programs and resources available at the event for fathers. So I don't even have to give you a bunch of resources, because when you show up on April the 12th, you will be able to sign up. There will be people there to actually give you resources, to show you where to go, the date, time, and all of that. You'll be able to be individually your needs addressed as a paternal participant in the birth and in the expectation of a child. And so we're not just catering to the moms. We're catering to moms, the dads, the whole family. And so I'm excited about this community baby shower.
Yeah.
So it's April the 12th.
Yes.
How do people get tickets?
You register online. Yes, you register at
it's coming.
BDNC. Okay, BDNC. That's Blue Door Neighborhood Center babyshower.com. BDNC babyshower.com. Now I'm going to tell you all something. There is a cap on this, and last time people were in the overflow. Oh, wow. and it filled up and went to the overflow easily, because there's a lot of resources. There's diapers, there's free gifts, there's people who are speaking about different things, and because
y'all got eggs,
and it's all free. And it's all free, and we don't sell one thing. And so therefore, if you know someone who is expecting a child or has had a child that is younger than 1 year old, then they are welcome to come, but they need to register. Everyone needs to register. And don't bring grandma and them and everybody, because we only have so many spaces. We feed you. Oh, they're going to get a
feed you good
meal. Yeah, we're going to always feed you good. We're going to make sure that you have all, good, great speakers. Children are welcome. Did you know that? We have a whole resource of for children because a lot of times people who are having children have children. And so they're like, we'd have to get a babysitter in order to get the benefits. No, you don't. Bring your children. We have a special people to work with them. And those are certified child specialists for them to for activity. So it's not just, nay them. It is, it is good people who are trained in that thing. So
it ain't the neighborhood babysitter.
Doors open at 10 a.m. Sit down, boy. None of that. We're going to have a good time.
Well, that is awesome. So go to bdncbabyshower.com. And don't let that name fool you because baby has a lot of different meanings. If you have a baby, you need to attend this baby shower so they can share resources on you.
If you're looking to have a baby, and I will say this, first of all, I must shout out Love McPherson and her team and the Blue Door Neighborhood Center because every event they do is top of the line. And I want to say that being in the room itself, because my other brother who was with me, who has Blue Cross Blue Shield as insurance, and they're going through IVF, he was able to get some resources on how to navigate the insurance process to get some of that stuff paid for. Just being in the room talking to the Blue Door team. So make sure you pull up. That's April the 20th, ncbabyshower.com. Love, I can't wait. I wish I could just fast forward to your next your next time on the Brunch because we enjoy you. But thank you for all that you do.
It's always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the next time.
Listen. You do some amazing things, so we definitely want to cover you and make sure that you have a pathway to each place that you're going and that these people have a pathway to you.
You all, let me tell you something. I ain't going. Who's next?
Listen, I was getting ready to bump them. I'm like, more love. But, it's always, important. But real quick, how can people connect with you?
LoveMcPherson.com. Also follow me on social media, love_McPherson on Instagram, Love McPherson on Facebook. Love McPherson.
All right. Well, we love. And you know what? We love you. And you know what?
I love y'all.
We're going to take you to some Sunday morning church right here on this Thursday. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share.
Awesome.
We're going to get a picture.
That's so sweet. I appreciate you.
If it's okay, can I get your contact information?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Because I will call you and let you know.
Thank you for
all. No, you anytime.
Okay.
Keep it going. Okay.
Yes.
Well, can I give you mine? Because I am doing this podcast, and my producers actually specifically asked.
Yeah. Okay, give me your number.
7:30. Am I still online?
Hold on, let me mute myself.
until it's too
Yeah.
late,
Hey,
call 866-447-3344.
That's right. Call Secure Home and Automation today at 866-447-3344 and take control of your safety.
So, yeah, my people for sure. So I ain't got nothing to say.
Right.
2.
You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 13.
As like therapy, medical, where she could stay. Like, you're supposed to be making all major joint decisions together in accordance
And
with
is this for all the kids or just for North?
For all of them.
Okay.
Right? So they got joint, physical. So really, she's not truly the custodial parent in a sense because they have this joint custody, right?
Well, they got to do everything together.
They got to make all these decisions together. Everything got to be outlined together. Trademark law doesn't really have too much care for divorce decrees or court orders when it comes to registration. Okay. Right? So when Kim went to register, because Kim has registered Northwest Trademark independently, she independently owns it, right? She doesn't have Kanye listed. She doesn't have any like joint ownership listed. And she claims that once Northwest is of age, she's going to give the mark to North. This is a big deal considering the types of things that, right?
Let's talk about some of those.
We know that she's into like rapping. It's your bestie, Miss Northwest.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know she's into rapping. We know she's into performing. We know she's into acting. So we know that there's going to be merch if there isn't merch already. I believe that she was on like that. I don't want to say Jesus Walks Tour. What was he called? Sunday Service. I know she was a part of Sunday Service. Yeah. I'm sure it was merch and clothing affiliated with her and sales of things of that nature with Sunday Service. Kim basically has the power to fight him on all of that. She could claim, in fact, that she owns this, and she sent him
a cease and desist because he got a song he produced for his daughter, but now it can't come out because Mama said no.
So she
Mom said knock it out.
Well, the issue, so it's crazy too, because you know how like one thing with the law is the law sometimes can be in a situation to where it should be one way just based on the facts and based on the rules, but because of outside factors such as public perception, public statements, what people think of you in that moment, right? The general, you know, the court of public opinion can see. I think that it would be to say like, oh, jurors are untainted by the public. In high profile situations, you're not supposed to be,
but you are.
It's only so much you can keep from a person, and if you're somebody as high profile as Kanye West, you gotta think that a jury or a judge is gonna have opinions about you and some things that you have said or done in the last. I'll be willing to
send him to an Amish courthouse.
You know what I'm saying? He always doing something. He's always him doing something or saying something wild, right? And I don't know how much of that is for shock value or how much of that is truly attributed to mental health or what the situation is with that. And I don't want to make any speculation, you know, about any of those things. But when you have somebody who's having all of these public quote unquote breakdowns and mental health tantrums, it could potentially be said like, oh, he's not the best person to be managing any aspect of her estate or her name, image, or likeness. But what can be said for sure right now, just based on my reading of the divorce decree and the custody agreement, she doesn't have the power to exclude him from this trademark. And she sent him a cease and desist. She didn't sue him. And you got to think about how rich she is, right? You could try and save face and say, oh, she sent the cease and desist because this is, you know, her child's father, and she don't want to do that. But I think that, you know, in reality, just knowing their track record, if I could, I would. If I knew that filing suit was going to be the way that I was going to get my victory quickly, then I would do that in a heartbeat at that level of wealth. So I think that it's something to be said about the fact that she didn't do that.
Kanye said he's going to war over this.
Yes.
And
he should.
Yes, he should.
He should.
Does he have a leg to stand on, from your legal opinion?
I believe that he does. A firm leg to stand on. That they're supposed to make joint agreements together. He should have access to this. This is something that she is in ownership of. Or maybe we need a custodial guardian for her affairs. Maybe the court need to appoint somebody. Maybe the family need to appoint somebody.
But see, that gets tricky.
It get expensive, actually.
It get expensive, but tricky, because when you think of that, I'm thinking of like Wendy Williams, who had that happen, but now they got her locked in jail.
But that's like conservatorship, so not conservatorship.
Okay.
Right? A guardian ad litem, I believe is the term that's used. The term of art is a person that's appointed by like juvenile courts and family law cases and things like that to like advocate on behalf of the kids.
That is so much that I just hate, and but what?
But from Kim's perspective, her concern is, well, one of her concerns is that Diddy's legal troubles.
Yeah, so that's what triggered this whole situation. So that's another thing that I was saying too, or was trying to get to, about how sometimes the court of public opinion play a major role in something too. It's like I triggered or I sent this cease and desist because you wanted to put her on this song with Diddy.
Oh, it's the song with Diddy?
And I don't want that.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Kanye got his daughter on the song with Diddy.
And so
did he record this pre-Diddy jail?
You know,
he had to.
I don't have to know.
He had to.
He just had a verse.
He had a.
Where the verse come from? Did the verse come from the jailhouse?
Because R. Kelly just dropped the track from jail.
It was a hit.
It was definitely a hit.
It was a hit.
Okay, bring it back in, ladies. Bring it back in.
But the thing that is very concerning, which I understand that is very concerning, is because Diddy is up for legal issues, including allegations of sex trafficking and assault and underage girls. So Kim's concerned about North being with these controversies. However, tracks can be embedded without you being in person. So it's not like North had to be in the studio with him.
I think I get it now, though. Like, if I hear somebody was a pedophile, am I sending my kids or letting them do business with my kids? Yeah. So I kind of get that.
But the legal issue,
like, what is that doing for her image?
Right.
What is that doing to potential Disney deals for her? What is that doing to potential Nickelodeon opportunities? Exactly. Or I don't know who else is popping in the kid world, Cartoon Network. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is that doing for Disney teen potential? What's holding her back from being Lizzie McGuire, or stopping them from being the Jonas Brothers, or one of those style families?
Let me ask you this, as the number one trademark attorney in the country. Was it a good idea for her to trademark the kid's name?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't understand why they hadn't done it prior to the divorce.
So my understanding is that it had been done prior to the divorce.
He didn't know.
That it just wasn't really relevant when they was married. It didn't become relevant until after they was married. And like I was saying, trademark law isn't based in family law, right? So the fact that she's got this registered, they would actually have to kind of get some type of order entered through some type of court. They could go either way with this. I think that Kim is going to want to go the family law route, because the family law route gives her the opportunity to be like, hey, he's unfitted, he's crazy, he's this, he's that, right? And then Kanye want to go the trademark law route with, hey, she registered this trademark. I got this court order that say that we're supposed to be making joint decisions. We should be here. So there could actually be a major, lengthy, costly legal battle before the battle actually starts for them, wondering what the proper venue is, which court should be the court. Should we be in a civil court over the trademark situation, or should we be in a family law court?
Well, that didn't stop him from releasing the track. So now where does that put him? Or them, I should say.
She got to sue him.
She got to sue him.
Yeah, she got to sue him. She told me not to. I did it anyway. You got to sue me. And then you got to prove that I didn't have the power to use her likeness or her name in some way. And I believe I did have the power based on this court order.
Only thing I think is really tricky about this is the control, her owning the trademark and controlling everything her daughter does when she's supposed to allow the father to, they supposed to be 50-50. So, but when the parents are fighting, the kids lose out. And, we're going to pray. But
I
why
haven't
is
heard
it?
the song. Have you?
No, I don't want to
Me
either.
No.
No, and I say that joke later. But nevertheless, India, why is it important what Kim did for people that are listening now that have kids and in the industry or have businesses that they're starting? Why is it so important for trademark?
You want to take ownership of your brand before somebody else does, or somebody else attempts to in some roundabout way.
Well, you know what? People at this level, you don't even think that they would have these kind of disputes, because you would think that their legal team would have sewn this up. So this is a great example of people need to take your own actions and put it in your own hands and make sure that you see it to fruition. Because now I just wouldn't think that.
Yeah, and good point, because this shows that no matter if it's your husband, wife, neighbor, somebody knows you got something good going, they go trademark the name. And now you got to fight for your ownership, because you may have a leg to stand on, or you may not, depending on when they trademark and if they start using it, But that's why you should just trademark your brand.
Absolutely. But then again, always bringing you back to, the base of trademark law, which is that trademark rights is giving you the right to protect your brand. It's not protecting your brand for you. So you got to enforce your rights.
Oh, it just gives you the right to protect it, but you don't, that in itself, that vehicle in and of itself does not protect it.
It does not.
You still got to pay attention to what people are doing, search your name, look up hashtags.
Registration, send people cease and desist, file suit against somebody if they are infringing against your mark in some way. Now, some things that come a little more automatically is like the customs rights. When customs is going through shipments and things that's being imported, they'll flag or take anything that, is clearly a knockoff. Anything that's clearly infringing on the registered mark, they're going to, deal with, and that's a right that you share as well. But outside of that, there's nothing really automatic here. It's all very much, you got to be the person that's like the driving force behind it.
So how do people get in touch with you so that they can drive their force forcefully?
You can give me a call at 773-455-0711. Again, the number is 773-455-0711.
So I got a question. If you have an update, what's going on with the barbecue?
Oh Lord, how did I know?
Barbecue people, I'm gonna get you an update. I promise I'm gonna get you an update. I do not have an update on barbecue people, but I told you this literally like 2 years.
Yeah, well, we want to follow it the whole 2 years.
Okay, I'm gonna get you an update on barbecue. I promise.
Okay. Listen, India, you always educate us, and it's amazing. Believe it, I'll tell you, I have been on both sides of the trademark fight. I've had someone steal my name, and I've been told that I stole somebody else's name. But you just want to make sure you're doing it right. So make sure you call attorney India Rio at 773-455-0711. Listen, India, thank you again for joining us on the Brunch and bringing the news. Follow her on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
India__. India_Esquire_711. That's India_Esquire_711.
Follow her for all of those great tidbits. She's been stepping that social media game up with videos and tips. So I want to make sure you don't miss them. But you know what? You're going to have to miss us because we're out of time. But we're net of content. We encourage you on this Throwback Thursday in the spirit of the late, great Reverend Dr. Clay Adams. No matter what you're going through, go home tonight, get in your bed, and pull the covers over your shoulders and go to sleep because angels are watching over. Tamara Fair on the air, I love you.
Action Jackson, I love you.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you too. Up next is Nothing But Joy. See you next time. Nothing but joy.
Nothing but joy.
That's how this look, man.
You know what? People love a good story. India, this is a great story.
Not,
I love it.
I'll tell you off camera.
Like, seriously, y'all, I know you all get resourced up. This is a resource you definitely
I didn't even get to
cannot
play the
afford
tambourine
to
today.
miss.
I
Definitely
need to
call
record a commercial.
Attorney
for it.
India Real for all your trademark needs. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a great Friday Eve.
So, like,
All right.
Yes, bye-bye.